Okay, dear students, welcome back. Today is the final part of lesson 1 of our 9th English. It's Packing by Jerome K. Jerome. And now we have reached to the final this episode of this narrative. The packing was done at 12:50, and Harris sat on the big hamper and said he hoped nothing would be found broken. And he expressed the hope that nothing has been damaged. Now here the voice of this sentence is was done. It's a passive voice and it focuses on completion and not the effort. And we know that their effort was very reckless, and that's why they expressed the hope only. So it is a type of situational irony. So George said that if anything was broken, it was broken, which reflection seemed to comfort him. And here we also understand this, that it is their careless attitude that when they say that if something has been damaged, it is damaged. So the idea of this type, that if anything was broken, it was broken, it gives them a sort of relaxation, and it relaxes their thoughts also. So we can see here the conditional clause is used. That shows the resignation. And comic philosophy is also, as a literary device, comic philosophy, shallow logic is presented humorously, because they are exhausted, and that is why they seem to comfort themselves with the expectations that if something has happened, we cannot do anything about that, and it has happened. He also said he was ready for bed, and they were very tired and immediately wanted to go for the sleep. So they were ready, and they were prepared for that. We were all ready for bed, and it's here in the narrative itself that they were all feeling very tired and they wanted to sleep. Here again we can see that the collective statement, it reinforces the shared fatigue, because they were all very restless now. They were trying to get rid of the situation. So Harris was to sleep with us that night, and we went upstairs. So it was for the first time perhaps that Harris was sleeping with them. So they went to their room that was in the upper story, in the upper floor of the place of the house where they were residing. So here again we can see that future in the past is used there. Was to sleep, that is a planned action. They had planned it earlier, and now they were executing the plan. So we tossed it for beds. But here again, is again a comic tone that now they did not just went there and retired to the beds and started the rest of their night. No, they have to decide. Who actually sleeps with whom. In a किसको किसके साथ सोना है. And for that very purpose, they tossed it for the beds. That is, they threw the coin, and then they decided that who is going to sleep and to whom he is going to sleep with. And it was again that Harris ends up sharing the bed with the narrator. और इनके बीच में आपको पता है क्षितिज का आंकड़ा पहले से ही था. So here the idiomatic expression is used that they toss it for the beds. And it is a type of, this is called comic inevitability, that is unwanted outcome, because the narrator could have never thought that I have to share the bed with a person whom I actually like the most, like the least. So he said, do you prefer the inside or the outside, Jay? And as you know, you can find out in the lesson itself that Harris asks us whether the narrator wants the inner or outer side of the bed. So they were not actually in a good जिसको हम कहते हैं कि पूरे ज़्यादा नज़दीक एक दूसरे के नहीं थे, तो उनका आपस में कुछ दूरी थी, तो इस वजह से वो एक दूसरे के साथ सोना भी नहीं चाहते थे. So the grammar here is direct speech, and it acts realism and humor. I said I generally prefer to sleep inside a bed. And now narrator says that I replied humorously that pretending to misunderstand कि मतलब उसको शायद समझ में नहीं आया, यानी उसने कहा कि जब उसने पूछा कि आप इनसाइड या आउटसाइड, यानी आप उस तरफ या इस तरफ चलेंगे, तो he pretended to respond humorously so that the narrator may be misunderstood. So he actually could have given a good answer or proper answer. So here is the literal humor, that is inside, taken literally. मतलब मैं बेड के अंदर ही सोता हूँ, मैं बाहर कैसे सोऊंगा तो ये चीज़ जो है यहाँ इसको और ज़्यादा ह्यूमरस बनाती है. So Harris said it was odd, and Harris finds the reply strange, because odd you know the meaning, that's strange. So here understatement is again used as a literary device. This is a milder reaction. It heightens the humor. कि जब आपने कोई बात की तो उसका जो मतलब है वाक़ियतन उसी तरह से उल्टा ले लिया गया जो आप चाहते थे. George said, "What time shall I wake you fellows?" Now George asks them when he should wake them up. So it means that George actually thought he is actually more responsible than the rest of the two. So here grammar and literary device is again, grammar is interrogative sentence, that is it moves the scene forward, and he actually makes a sort of interruption. पहले उनके बीच में जो मुकालमा हो रहा था तो उसके बीच में वो आ गया और उसने सवाल दाग दिया, "What time shall I wake you fellows?" So it changes the scene and it moves the scene forward. So Harris said 7, and Harris just answered, he suggested that they should wake up at 7 in the morning. तो यहाँ ग्रामर जो इस्तेमाल हुआ है, that is one word reply, it's a casual tone. I said no because I wanted to write some letters. When we try to understand this very sentence, you need to focus on the dash that is put before no. It is a sudden contradiction, and there is again a character humor is also presented here. So narrator is actually, he gives some sort of importance to his own self. It is we can say it is self-importance. And he says that everybody has to wake up at 6 because he has some job to finish. Harris and I had a bit of a row over it, but at last split the difference and said 6:30. They also argued about this this very contradiction, and finally, after a brief compromise, they arrived at the conclusion that 6:30 would be the better time. Wake us at 6:30, George, we said. Then we asked George, or instructed George clearly that he should wake us up at 6:30. It is again, the sentence is imperative sentence, that is a direct instruction. Wake us at 6:30, George. So George made no answer, and we found on going over, and he had been asleep for some time. Now George made no answer when he was instructed with this very statement that wake us at 6:30, George. He was already asleep and does not respond. So past perfect is used, that sleep began earlier, and there is a comic anticlimax, that is a serious plan meets indifference. When you were asked a serious question and you responded, and now to whom you are responding, he is not serious now, he is indifferent to your response. So we placed the bath where he could tumble into it on getting out in the morning and went to bed ourselves. यानी वो उसको एक तरह से सबक सिखाना चाहते थे. So they placed this a bathtub there, so that when he actually wakes up in the morning, he tumble upon it, जिसको हम लुढ़क जाना कहते हैं, fall clumsily over it, and they will extract some fun out of it. It's a physical comedy, and it's called a slapstick humor. So the cause and effect is expected here. A prank is based on a predictability, that they are actually they have just proposed a prank, and they think that something would come out of it. So for concluding insights, this is a closing episode. It highlights Jerome K. Jerome's subtle humor through ordinary domestic moments. The comedy arises not from grand events, but from fatigue, petty arguments, literal misunderstandings, and playful revenge. Through irony, understatement, idiomatic language, and light farce, ये टर्म मैंने डिफरेंट इस्तेमाल की है, आगे चलकर इसको आप अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे। द ऑथर रीइंफोर्सेस सेंट्रल थीम ऑफ पैकिंग। Human beings complicate even the simplest things, simplest tasks, yet find this companionship and laughter within the chaos. Although it was very hectic for them कि उन्होंने यथस कशिर पठवन पानस को सड़क कहर, लेकिन इससे भी उन्होंने एक जो सबक दिया है, ऑथर ने कोशिश की है सबक देने की कि इंसान अगरचे कभी कभार गलतियां भी करता है, लेकिन अगर उसको वो एक अलग अंदाज से ले तो उसकी थकावट जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं उसकी मुस्कुराहट का बायस बनती है। थैंक्स अ लॉट, थैंक्स वेरी मच।